kids over the fence, and then between bullets, we ran out.
Living with guilt.
I still wonder every day why I am the survivor and they're not.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today is going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
Get ready to take care of you. July 20th, 2012, the Aurora, Colorado movie theater shooting, 12 dead. October 1st, 2017, the Route 91 Harvest Festival shooting in Las Vegas, 60 dead. July 4th, 2022, the Highland Park, Illinois parade shooting, 7 dead. 3 tragedies spanning 10 years. Total, 79 souls lost. But what about those who survived? The ones left with mental scars from the sheer terror they experienced and the painful memories of the deadly scenes they witnessed as they took cover or ran for their lives. Questions of, could I have? Why didn't I? And what if I had? Often plague survivors as they struggle to understand and cope with tragedy.
We mark a grim anniversary in this country, 5 years since the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history.
For so many of the survivors, the pain is still very fresh.
Surreal to understand that we're here, and there's so many people that aren't or their loved ones that aren't.
That was the worst night of my life. It stripped every bit of innocence that I had left.
The survivor guilt is a thing.
It was on this night 10 years ago, a gunman burst into that theater in Aurora, murdering 12 people, injuring dozens more.
While the bullets missed her, her emotional wounds seemed obvious.
I'm still in shock. I don't think that it's hit me yet, what I've been through.
And for many, especially those who were in the theater, like Genevieve Swong, coping hasn't been easy.
Around this time, I normally just block it out. I can't believe it's been 10 years. It feels like it was yesterday.
There were hundreds of people here for that parade, and those survivors will forever be traumatized by this shooting.
It was the worst moment of my entire life. How did we survive? Why did we survive?
Just months ago, a gunman sat on a rooftop, firing bullets at innocent bystanders during a 4th of July parade in Highland Park, Illinois. Alexander was there that day with his family when the deadly chaos began. Now, Alexander, what was your instinct when you heard those shots being fired?
My instinct was to get my family to safety. My girlfriend, her daughter, 6 years old, my son, 5 years old, and my little brother, 4 years old, and our puppy, Toby. The first thing I did was I told her to run. I picked up my son, I grabbed my little brother, dragged the dog, ran to lean up against a building, tried to break into one of the local stores to help the people that were there, and then I just continued to move and get out of that situation as fast as I could, and took my son to safety by putting them in the dumpster and then trying to realize what else I had to do.
You say it was just horrible. You saw so many people that needed help, and you said the only thing that you could think about was your family.
When I was able to first get away from the bullets, I put my son, my brother, my dog in a dumpster. But the reason I did that was not only because I didn't know where the shooting was coming, what the situation was, but I also had to get back and find my family, which was my partner and her daughter. So I went back into the scene. I saw people that were shot on the ground. I saw a man that was shot running in the middle of the street in the back. I saw the little 8-year-old boy who was shot. And that's why I needed to go back to my family, because I needed to go back to get my son out of there, my brother. And I couldn't help those people. I couldn't do anything because I had to take care of my own first. And I didn't know what else was going on. So, I just captured that, my mind, and I turned around and as soon as I knew they were okay, I had to go back to get them. And I got out of there as fast as I could and just reunited with my family. But that's why I couldn't help. I would have wanted to do something, just hold someone's hand or hold them up, but I couldn't.
If you had this to do over again, what would you change?
If I had to do this over again, I don't know what I would change. It's something that I never expected. And I don't think I would be able to change much because I only thought about my son, my brother, my partner.
Do you have shame in that?
I don't think it's fair to have shame in it. I wish, if I could say, if I wish, I could have helped someone more, comfort someone more, but I was selfish in saving my own family, my own son, and looking for my own. I tried to help that couple. Then when I leaned up against the door and I was punching the glass door to get in, there was an older man and an older woman, and they were crying and screaming, and I wanted to help them to get into safety because I knew that I had to get out of that main road. I mean, if I could have helped them, I don't know if something happened to them, but if I was able to break into that store and I would grab more people to come in with me, that's what I would have done. But I think I acted like any, father or parent or human with your children that have their whole life ahead of themselves. I acted accordingly with that situation.
You told us that your life would have meant more to your community if you would have died that day. Why?
I've been going through a lot of emotional feelings through all of this. And I look at my community, how strong and how together they have come. And I see, the memorial that they've done, the story of each independent person that passed that day. Everybody knows their story and they're talking about them. But, I mean, I'm here, I'm alive, and maybe a lot of people don't know who I am. But I want to strengthen my community with what I can do, because then I can be part of that and people will know who I am. But I think, I would have just been another person. I'm just another person right now. But if I would have been one of those persons that passed, of course my community would have known who Alexander was. This man, this father who was taking...
Oh, they're going to know who you are.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I'm sorry. I can't tell you how sorry I am for the people that died that day. And in the same breath, how glad I am that you aren't one of them. I'm glad for your son. I'm glad for your little brother. I'm glad for your community. I haven't known you for very long, but I like you a lot, and I respect you already, because you are very sincere and you're very authentic, and you're also confused about some things that I'd like to unravel for you if I can. I was raised to believe that the man has a role in the family. And it's to be a provider and a protector and a leader and a teacher and certain things. And it seems to me that you did all of those things that day, plus for some other people. And I'll tell you why you did what you did. And there's a very instinctual reason you did what you did. Why you had no choice but to do what you did. I'm going to tell you that right after the break.
actually live kitty corner across to where the shooter's parents live. We saw SWAT out there. My kids found out, and they're afraid of that.
Tomorrow,
a controversial approach to the nation's drug epidemic.
Safe havens for drug addicts to use.
This is a drug fest right here. There are needles in the streets.
You're standing there with a paramedic while you're shooting up. Is that not enabling?
Of course it is.
Let me just say this. It does not encourage new users.
Your program's enabling addiction and death. The only thing it enables is for people not to die.
How about not doing it at all? That's tomorrow. Then on Friday, workplace bullying.
I threw my back out. I started losing my hair.
If you wake up every day and let somebody else tell you what your worth is, then you've given them your power. That's Friday.
Know an inspiring educator? Go to yourcentralvalley.com and tell us. Each week, KC24 News honors one exceptional local educator. They win supplies for their classroom from GW School Supply and are added to the Teacher's Honor Wall at Fresno State. We applaud, we honor, we celebrate. Educator of the Week, Wednesdays on KC24. Brought to you by Educational Employees Credit Union, Fresno County Superintendent of Schools, and Tulare County Office of Education.
At Stanton Optical, independent eye doctors are available for eye exams whenever you need one. You should have seen me before I got mine. You're so quiet. Are you mad at me? Book your same-day eye exam at Stanton Optical today.
Ever since that driver hit my minivan, I haven't been able to just relax until I found the injury attorneys at BD&J.
The personal injury attorneys at BD&J have recovered over $1 billion for their clients. Make the call to BD&J today.
So you want patio furniture? Or maybe bar stools? Wait, Amish. You want the largest display of handcrafted Amish furniture in Central California? Visit Lou Rodman's Patio Bar Stools and Amish Emporium. It's big, really big.
The simplest things in life can be difficult when you suffer from leg pain caused by venous disorders. South Valley Vascular offers the latest in minimally invasive procedures with little to no downtime. Get back to enjoying a full and active lifestyle. Call South Valley Vascular today.
This is Nora, uncomfortable and wondering if she'll ever sleep again. Nora, I've got your back, and your side, and your stomach. Because no matter your sleep style or budget, I have a quality Bobopedic mattress for hundreds less than national brands. Like this Bobopedic Prize Queen mattress for just $5.99. This cool-to-the-touch copper sport with innovative copper threads. And my signature gel, which has charcoal memory foam for pressure relief. With 30 years of sleep experience, you can take a break from sleepless nights. This spring break at Bob's.
Join Sequoia Symphony Orchestra's Festival of American Icons, showcasing the music of Copland, Gershwin, Higdon, and Bernstein. Enjoy April's world-class performances by Sequoia Symphony Orchestra at the Visalia Fox Theater.
Stanton Optical is the best value in eye care. We did the math, people. For $79, you get all this. That costs over $400 at LensCrafters, over $200 at Walmart, and over $150 at America's Best. When it comes to value, Stanton Optical is the top bird.
Community mourns and survivors begin their long road to recovery. We are learning new details about the victims.
Parents Irina and Kevin McCarthy left behind their only child, just 2 years old.
He was saying, "Mommy, Daddy," so I went back up to look for his mom and dad, and then I saw the scene, his carnage.
Gregory Ring and his wife Dana took him home while they launched a desperate social media search for the boy's family. Hours later, a detective arrived and reunited the boy with his grandparents.
Surviving a mass tragedy often results in lingering trauma after the initial shock fades. It seems pretty clear to me that you are experiencing some second guessing, some guilt, some regret, looking back on that day and saying, what if I'd done this instead of that? Why didn't I do this instead of that? Maybe I would have had more meaning in my life if I had died that day. Trust me, we don't need martyrs. We need mothers and fathers. And to hear from someone like you that cared what happened to other people and took care of your own family is inspiring to hear. And I said I was going to tell you why you did what you did, and you did it instinctively. There's a piece of research that's been around for a long time by Dr. Maslow that has to do with hierarchy of needs. And it says we kind of progress through certain things, and the first are physiological needs, the basic needs for physical survival. I mean, this is life-sustaining. You do what you have to do to stay alive. And then next in the pyramid is safety and security. I mean, these are the things that keep our species thriving. This is what's built into our DNA. The first things we do instinctually are meet physiological needs and then safety and security. And that day, that's what unfolded with you. You stepped up in a leadership role and did what you need to do to meet physiological needs, safety, and security. Do you agree with that?
I agree.
And right now, the things you're saying to me tell me that you're functioning at the top of that pyramid. You're caring about your community. You're wishing that you could do more, and you can. You haven't heard much from your extended family.
It's been an issue that does touch me. You know, my immediate family, they were there, my sister, my mom, my dad, my brother called me, my acquaintances, people I didn't even know. But I expected the rest of my family to call me. What if my son would have died? You would be there to that funeral. But here, we're alive, and he's playing, and we're here, and and they didn't come up, and they didn't, like, I don't know if because they didn't want to make us relive it. I don't understand it. It hit me, and it continues to hit me, and I don't understand it. I just have to go with, that's how they are.
I'm guessing that you've told them you're okay.
Well, I post some things on Facebook, so they think, they pretty know I'm okay.
Yeah.
But not inside, sometimes.
Well, they can't read your mind. You gotta tell them how you feel. How's your son doing?
He's beautiful. The only thing that I've seen a change in him is, you know, at nighttime, we actually live kitty corner across to where the shooter's parents live, and somehow my kids found out, and they're afraid of that. We saw SWAT when the mom was out there, and then the kids kind of know about it. So I make little tents on his bed, like a fort. I close the windows, reassure him we're okay. I lay down with him, you know, and, you know, he gets those tears sometimes at night, but I'm there.
You want him to give his feelings a voice.
Yeah.
If he needs to talk about it, talk about it.
Yep.
And you need to give your feelings a voice. And when you're talking to yourself about it, and you have this internal dialogue, I want you to test your thoughts against 4 criteria that are really important. If you're having a thought, ask yourself, is it based on verifiable fact? I'm gonna fact check myself here. Mm-hmm. Is this factual? And then number 2, is what I'm saying to myself in my best interest? And then third, does it get me what I want and need? And fourth, does it protect and prolong my life? Those 4 things are the test for rational thought. And if your thought fails any one of those 4, you need to cross it out and generate a thought that does fit those 4 criteria. Yeah. Be patient with yourself.
Thank you.
Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Okay. Next, a woman who suffers guilt for surviving when 12 people died in the movie theater massacre in Aurora, Colorado. We'll meet her and hear how it took 8 years to finally acknowledge what happened to her next.
The shooter, fully armored, was literally directly in front of me, like 5 rows up. I still wonder every day how I got out of there. It's definitely changed me.
I'm concerned about what's going on in America right now. We can really have an impact on this, and it can start with you. Very excited about my guest today. Knows a lot about things that most of us don't know about, need to know about. This is a very important conversation. I think you're going to find it stimulating, provocative, and persuasive. That's what we're talking about today on Fill in the Blanks. I want to up the knowledge curve a little bit. Available on Apple Podcast or however you listen.
Good news. No matter what you choose, you save. Carl's Jr.'s all-day 2-for-5 deal lets you pick 2 tasty items, like our savory cheeseburger, spicy chicken sandwich, chicken stars, or French toast dips for just $5. Only at Carl's Jr.
The viewer seems to have been lost in the shuffle of cable news lately.
The vast majority of people are in the sensible middle. They're not the far right wing, and they're not the far left wing.
They don't want a team sport. They want the full picture.
The appetite is greater than it has ever been for perspective, for understanding, and for information that they can not just trust, but use.
See why America's fastest growing cable news network is News Nation.
I can't wait to get out of here. And right into my shower. New Dial with Hydro Clean Complex and Vitamin E. Cleanses deep but is gentle on skin. Dial up your day. Let's do this.
The day you get your Clear Choice dental implants makes every day a let's dig in day. A chow down day. A take a big bite day. A perfectly delicious day. A love my new teeth day. Because your Clear Choice Day is the day everything is back on the menu. A Clear Choice Day changes every day. Schedule a free consultation.
I got hurt in a car accident, but hiring a lawyer sounds like such a hassle.
We can evaluate your case in as little as 5 minutes.
They settled my case for over $350,000.
Call us. We're the Law Brothers.
Call now or visit lawbrothers.com.
We are Grocery Outlet, and we are your Bargain Bliss Market. What's Bargain Bliss? You know that feeling you get when you find the name brands you know and love, but for way, way less? That's Bargain Bliss. It's Grocery Outlet's 20% off wine sale, going on now till April 11th. We have hundreds of wines sure to pair with any gathering. So act now, because these deals won't last long. Stop in and save today.
Grocery Outlet, Bargain Market.
Good news. No matter what you choose, you save. Carl's Jr.'s all-day 2-for-5 deal lets you pick 2 tasty items, like our savory cheeseburger, spicy chicken sandwich, chicken stars, or French toast dips for just $5. Only at Carl's Jr.
Well, joining me is Jenna. And 10 years ago, while stationed in Aurora, Colorado, she and some friends went to the midnight showing of a new Batman movie, just kind of on a whim. She says shortly after the movie began, tear gas filled the room and bullets began firing across the theater. She dropped to the ground just moments before a bullet hit the woman sitting directly in front of her. Jenna, I can't tell you how glad I am you're here to tell this story. Walk me through what happened that night.
I see tear gas flying over my head. I smelt it and I was like, that's not right. Because I was in the military previously and I knew exactly that smell. I was like, this is not a joke. So I dropped to the ground with my friends and then bullet started flying and the woman in front of me got hit. The shooter, dressed in like fully armored, was literally directly in front of me, like 5 rows up.
You go to a movie, you expect to be entertained, kind of laugh with your friends and walk out. And the next thing you know, you're in a mass shooting, bullets are flying, tear gas is everywhere. What do you say to yourself at the time?
I was just like, we need to move. Like, I kind of went into full military mode, kind of, and it just hit the ground and did what I was trained to do, kind of. It was scary, yeah, and it was also like, I don't even know why or what's going on, so.
And you later learned that there was actually a platoon mate that was in the theater as well.
Yeah, there was my coworker, John Larimer. He lost his life in the theater.
One of the things that people experience after something like that and we've talked to you about this, so you know what we're talking about, is when someone goes through that and survives, and others don't, particularly others that you know, like a platoon mate or whatever, we sometimes tend to question why. Why did we get out and the person in the row in front of us did not? You've asked yourself those questions. How do you answer them?
I still wonder every day how I got out of there and how I'm the survivor and they're not. I think about them, or think about all the people that lost their lives daily.
Are you different now than you were before it happened? Because these things tend to write on the slate of who we are. You can't go through this and not be changed.
Yeah, it's definitely changed me. I used to be carefree. On my 18th birthday, I went skydiving. I would be open to do anything, anywhere. Like, I joined the military on a whim. I literally was like too cold one day in Minnesota, and I was like, I'm joining the military. I'm getting out of here. And so I would fly by the seat of my pants. Now, absolutely not. I plan everything, like everything to the what ifs. Like, this could happen, so I'm gonna prepare for it. And even my car is like a survival kit sometimes, you know? So, and in my brain, I'm just having backup plans on backup plans. But before, I'd be like, oh, whatever, I don't care, let's just go do it.
Do you go into group settings? Do you go into theaters? Do you go into crowded spaces?
I do. I don't like it. I do it mostly for my kids because I know that they need those experiences and that I don't want to hold them back.
In fact, you wanted to tour the studio here before you came.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that I felt, and which was so helpful because I could picture what was going to happen more so today. And so that way I could be calm enough and be able to come up here and tell my story and fully be here instead of looking at exits and like panicking and just being, you know.
And you know where the exits are, and you knew what the setup was, and all of that.
Yeah.
Were you glad to see the security and everything?
Oh yeah, it made me feel so much better. As soon as I saw like metal detectors and everything, I was like, okay, I can do this.
You felt better. Well, we wanted you to feel good about it.
I appreciate
we wanted you to be able to focus on what you were doing and tell your story. I want Jenna to remain part of this conversation. Next, we're going to add a woman who used her body as a shield to protect her sister and strangers when bullets rained down on them during the Route 91 Harvest Festival in Las Vegas. Plus, a woman who was in the kill zone and made it out alive. We're going to meet them both next.
I saw the speaker blow up and I could hear the bullet, and I said a prayer and I said, Lord, please let me get my sister out and I will come back in and help.
Closed captioning provided by...
It's hard to put it into words. When I tried, life felt absurd. You lost the roots of my soul. I tell myself not to lose control. I'll take it slow, but it's hard to do when you're lying like me on a line like you. You got the hands that I wanna hold. You like the road to the house of my soul.
Coming up at 5 o'clock, an apartment building in the Tower District goes up in flames for a second time. Was it arson? Also caught on camera, an Armenian church in Fresno vandalized, causing thousands in damages.
Dad?
I was the lead singer.
Packing tape is like roadside assistance. Quality matters. So join AAA, America's most recommended roadside service.
Kelly has two choices: a honey-baked ham that's been slow smoked, hand-glazed, and spiral sliced, or a Kelly-baked ham. Nobody wants a Kelly-baked meal, not even Kelly. Make your Easter golden, only from the Honey Baked Ham Company.
If you feel sick, test to know if it's COVID. Medication is key to slow the virus
Visit youcanbeatit.org or call 833-422-4255 to ask for medication to treat COVID-19.
When I was broadsided by that truck, I didn't know where to turn. Thankfully, I found the injury attorneys at BD&J.
The personal injury attorneys at BD&J have recovered over $1 billion for their clients. Make the call to BD&J today.
The Fresno County Historical Society doesn't just preserve the past. We bring it back to life through photos and stories that connect us all. Your membership allows us to capture and share history every day. Join now at valleyhistory.org/membership.
A garden hose is like roadside assistance. Quality matters. So join AAA, America's most recommended roadside service.
Go to yourcentralvalley.com and download the Buddy Check 24 app today.
So many people forever united by a horrific event. They are 80 brave men and women that we've brought together, all survivors. Some still live with the physical pain from being shot. Most are haunted by the psychological trauma of that night. How many of you think you are suffering from post-traumatic stress from that night? Who has experienced feeling like other people just don't understand what you went through? Some here stay in touch often. It helps with the nightmares. Others have never met, but they connect instantly like family. Sean Topper is about to reunite with Karen Smerber, the woman he saved. A bullet tore through her stomach.
There was no way I was going to make it out of there.
Sean, a total stranger, scooped her up and carried her for a half mile to safety.
On October 1st, 2017, thousands of concertgoers were enjoying country music at the Route 91 Harvest Festival in Las Vegas when all hell broke loose. A gunman inside a Mandalay Bay hotel room began firing rounds of bullets down on the crowd, killing 58 people that night and 2 more subsequently, and wounding hundreds of others, making it the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history. I visited some of the survivors in the hospital and witnessed the aftermath of that horror. Hi, how are you guys?
Pretty good.
What are y'all saying to yourself about this at this point?
At this point, I just keep telling myself that we're thankful. And I'm so glad that we made it out alive. Because it could have been so much worse. I close my eyes to try to sleep, and I have flashbacks. I can't listen to the news because the gunshots, I just try not to think about it. And like she was saying, every time I close my eyes, I'm just seeing everybody running and people falling to the ground.
She was telling me when we were driving down here, she just feels so bad for a lot of other people. She doesn't understand why she's here and other people aren't.
You know, there's a phenomenon that I know you've heard about called survivor's guilt. There's not enough guilt in the world to erase what did happen. And there's not enough anxiety in the world to change what will happen. This is going to hit you in time. You are at risk for PTSD. It's a neurological thing, it's not psychological. There are triggers that take you back to the same emotion you felt that night in that field. And when you see that, you need to tell your parents because it's very treatable.
Thank you so much for having us and being here, and it means a lot because this isn't going to be easy, and we just have to stay as positive as we can.
Sue Ann was at the concert when tragedy struck. She says she shielded her sister and a pregnant woman to safety, then went in and out of the venue 9 different times to help injured concertgoers escape. Ashley was also there. She was in the kill zone when bullets began blazing down. You can certainly relate to what we've been talking about so far, because when these things happen, your life's divided into two parts, right? It's everything that's happened in your life before that day, and then everything that happens after, because it changes your life in that moment, right?
Yeah.
And it changed your life that day.
Yes.
And what made you realize what was happening at the time?
Well, yeah, at first we thought that it was just like somebody lighting off fireworks or speaker blown out. And I turned around at the same time that a man screamed that a woman was shot. And at the exact same time, I saw her shot in the head. And then that's when we knew.
What was your first realization that this was going on?
Yeah, I saw the speaker blow up, and I could hear the bullets going through the speaker on the right side. So I yelled at my sister to get against the fence. I knew we had to get out of there. And she had grabbed a pregnant lady and put her up against the fence with her and put her backpack in front of her. And I just laid on top of them, and I said a prayer, and I said, Lord, please let me get my sister out, and I will come back in and help. Mm-hmm. I threw some kids over the fence, and then between bullets, we ran out, stayed against the fence, ran out, and every time I think he started shooting again, I told him, get against the fence, and don't be afraid. I'm going to lay on top of you every time you have to get down. Mm-hmm. And so we did that 3 times to get out.
Tell me this, what has been the hardest thing for both of you since then? What's been the hardest thing in living with having been through this since it happened?
For me, the hardest part, so when everything happened, after a few minutes, that felt like forever, I ran out and I just ran. So up until this day, I still live with, I guess, the guilt of not doing more, only saving myself and not stopping to help anybody else. So that's been the hardest thing for me.
Mm-hmm. And what do you say to yourself about that?
Well, now I do a lot of mental health advocacy, and that's my way of giving back since I didn't give back then.
And how about you? What's been the hardest thing?
One of the angels, Denise Berditis, passed away in my truck that night. That's the hardest part for me because I'm a retired school bus driver and I knew all the side streets, but I didn't take them. I stayed on the main streets and got stuck in traffic, and I second guessed, and I beat myself up about that all the time.
What if I'd gone this way instead of that way, or this way instead of that way?
Yeah.
Well, Sue Ann says she lost friendships after the tragedy and has been judged for dedicating her time to remembering the 58 victims who lost their lives that day. We'll talk more about this when we come back. Tomorrow,
a controversial approach to the nation's drug epidemic.
Safe havens for drug addicts to use.
This is a drug fest right here. There are needles in the streets.
You're standing there with a paramedic while you're shooting up. Is that not enabling?
Of course it is.
Let me just say this. It does not encourage new users.
Your program's enabling addiction and death. The only thing it enables is for people not to die.
How about not doing it at all? That's tomorrow. Then on Friday, workplace bullying.
I threw my back out. I started losing my hair.
If you wake up every day and let somebody else tell you what your worth is, then you've given them your power. That's Friday. Closed captioning provided by...
I'd like to speak to customer service.
Press 1 to speak to a customer service representative. I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Representative.
Please try again. I'm sorry.
Buddy, come here. You need a hug. Oh, there you go. You also need consumer selling. You'll talk to a real person every time.
As nice as you?
Much nicer. Well, almost. Get the exact same coverage as the nation's leading carriers and 100% U.S.-based customer support starting at $20. Consumer Cellular.
Martial arts is my passion.
I work out whenever I can.
But with my moderate to severe eczema, it can be tough.
Now I'm staying ahead of it.
Dupixent helps heal your skin from within, so you can have clearer skin and noticeably less itch.
Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Ask your doctor about Dupixent.
We know you care. But if this is all too real for you and your loved ones, make the call. Because we care too. Home instead. To us, it's personal.
If I don't treat this, what will happen? Paralysis. I don't want the surgery. We can't force the surgery on him.
Are you looking for me?
Sure am.
We are gonna make this case without getting burned.
I do not know where we're going. I'm completely naked out here. Your time is coming, madam.
When my rideshare driver hit another car, I was overwhelmed dealing with the insurance companies. Then I found the injury attorneys at BD&J.
The personal injury attorneys at BD&J have recovered over $1 billion for their clients. Make the call to BD&J today.
Dr. Z, we love your skincare videos.
Thanks. My daughter has sensitive skin. Same. Try using All Free Clear as part of your family's laundry routine. It tackles impurities without leaving irritating residue for a clean that's gentle on skin. All Free Clear, the #1 doctor-recommended brand for sensitive skin.
This is the Las Vegas Healing Garden. This is a very important space to the survivors of the shooting, to the families of the victims, who we now call our 58 angels. We have 58 trees. Each tree is designated space for one of the victims. Each of our angels has a trellis that was put in. You can see all these little things here were brought. This is helping them heal by bringing stuff down here and placing these little things that they make. I have seen this place make a difference in so many lives.
When you talk about guilt, it's over having done something wrong. You know, nobody did anything wrong. You just all went innocently to go attend something, you know, in good spirit. The fact that you are motivated, inspired to do something after the fact that says, okay, I'm here and others aren't, I'm going to make that count. If you do that for the right reasons, that's a good thing. But not out of guilt. It should just be out of aspiration. It should just be out of the desire to make things better. Do you still have triggers in your world that really set you off?
I do. I'm very careful in crowded spaces. I have to kind of, like she said, I have to plan my route out and know where everything is. And if I don't, I get kind of in a panic. I still can't watch certain TVs, shows, or movies, and any repetitive noise after a few seconds really gets to me.
Mm-hmm. When you see news of a shooting, a mass shooting, a school shooting, the grocery store in upstate New York, I mean, something like that happen, does it bring this back present for you?
It does for me, for sure. Especially the Uvalde shooting last year hit home, and I didn't want to bring my kids to school that day, you know? Every single time that there's a shooting, it's like, oh, it's solidified that in my brain that the world is scary and that I shouldn't leave my house is really how it feels when I'm watching it, that nowhere is safe and that I should always be prepared.
Yeah. And so those feelings that maybe have dulled a bit, or at least been pushed off center stage, snap right back.
Yeah.
As though it happened very recently.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And same with you, same with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And for any of us that weren't there, to fully understand what it was like to be there. It's clear that all three of you have some degree of what sounds very much like PTSD, the recurrent triggers that bring some of these things back. And so, but there are some choices you can make that can help manage that. And that's what we want to talk about. We'll do that when we come back. You've all seen QR codes out there. You scan them with the camera on your cell phone. I partnered with Flowcode. Flowcode has one of the most robust redirect security systems in the business, so you know it's safe to scan.
So everyone take out your phones.
Open your camera, aim it at the Flowcode, and then tap the banner that pops up on your screen.
You are scanning for a chance to win this Dr. Phil sweatshirt.
Just open your camera, aim, and tap the link to enter. It's that easy.
Right now at Ashley, get 0% interest for 60 months on select best-selling mattresses. And visit your local Ashley store to experience our test rest and learn about savings options throughout the store with qualifying mattress purchases. Visit your local Ashley store or ashley.com for better sleep and savings today.
When you find your reason to go on, let it pull you past the doubt, past the pain, and past your limits. No matter what, we go on. BioFreeze.
No matter who you are, being yourself can be tough when you have severe asthma. Triggers can pop up out of nowhere, causing inflammation that can lead to asthma attacks. But no matter what type of severe asthma you have, Tespire can help. Tespire is an add-on treatment for people 12 and over that proactively reduces inflammation, which means you could have fewer attacks, breathe better, and relieve your asthma symptoms. So you can be you, whoever you are. Tespire is not a rescue medication. Don't take Tespire if you're allergic to it. Allergic reactions may occur and can be serious. Rash or eye allergy can happen. Don't stop your asthma treatments unless your doctor tells you to. Tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection or your asthma worsens. Sore throat, joint, and back pain may occur. Avoid live vaccines. By helping control your asthma, Tespire can help you be you. No matter who you are, ask your asthma specialist about Tespire today.
Welcome back to Solitaire Grand Harvest. Today, we're going to have a workout.
What? I just finished a workout.
That's great, but what about a brain workout?
Sounds good.
Take on the most exciting solitaire challenges that make you think and plan your moves. The harder the level, the sweeter the win.
Yes, let's play.
Solitaire Grand Harvest reinvents nostalgic fun. Download for free and get 10,000 free coins.
Wow, what a great woofer! Woof!
Coming up at 5, an apartment building in the Tower District goes up in flames for a second time. Was it arson? Also caught on camera, an Armenian church in Fresno vandalized, causing thousands in damages.
A lot of sunshine coming our way and warmer temperatures too. I'll have your forecast first coming up today at 5.
You're watching Ksee 24, local news that matters.
The doctor will see you now.
But do they really? Do they see that crick in your neck? That ache in your heart? Will they see that funny little thing that wasn't there last year? The new bounce in your step? The way your retinal scan connects to your blood sugar? At Kaiser Permanente, all of us work together to care for all that is you.
Today, buying drugs is as easy as sending a text. Parents, please talk to your kids about the dangers of fentanyl-laced drugs before it's too late.
Today's stories from survivors of different mass tragedies and how they reacted when faced with potential death. Sue-Ann survived the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history, but now dedicates her time remembering those who lost their lives that day. Ashley was also there that fatal day, but her story of survival is very different, illustrating again that despite living through the same trauma, no two experiences are the same. Jenna survived the Aurora, Colorado theater shooting, and one common theme among all three of them is they take very seriously the fact that they've been given like that second chance, and all three of you are working to say, I don't want to waste this. You know, you're working to give back, you're working to give back, you're working to give back. I don't want to sound like I'm playing a semantics game, because this is really a significant difference that I want everybody to think about. This is something that you just don't prepare for. There's no way to prepare for it. There's no way to rehearse for it. You know, we can all look back and play the what-if game. You know, people in car accidents can say, well, what if I'd turned left instead of right? What if I'd gone to the bathroom before I left, and so I'd have been 2 minutes later and wouldn't have been in that intersection when the truck ran the red light and my whole family was taken. You can play what if, what if, what if. And that can make you absolutely insane unless you play it all the way out to the end and answer the what if questions. You know, what if you had not gone to the movie? What if you had done this versus that? Because you have no way of knowing at the time, right? You just went to a movie. I mean, you just sit there watching a movie. And we always say hindsight's 20/20. That's great, but we do the best we can with what we know at the time. And that's all you can hold yourself to, is you do the best you can with what you know at the time. And you work on this garden area where people come to honor those that were lost. And that helps those people, right?
Absolutely.
It helps people to come and remember and honor those that were lost.
Yes. I've seen people start on the path and just be very distraught and very upset. And I tell them our 58 angels work very hard every day helping people heal as they walk that path. And by the time they get to the other end, a lot of them will come back up to me, and because I always offer a hug, always. And I say, they'll tell me, I think I can start my healing now. I think this is the beginning of the beginning. And it's amazing to see that transformation happen.
Living with eczema, we're used to this feeling. It's time your skin gets used to a different one with Opzelura. For the treatment of mild to moderate eczema, Opzelura is proven to clear or almost clear skin and significantly reduce itch fast. Opzelura is an on-the-spot cream applied directly to your eczema to help your skin feel less itch, less irritation, and more relief. All without steroids, pills, or injections.
Opzelura can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB or hepatitis B or C. Serious lung infections, skin cancer, blood clots, and low blood cell counts occurred with Opzelura. In people taking JAK inhibitors, serious infections, increased risk of death, lymphoma, other cancers, and major cardiovascular events have occurred. The most common side effect was the common cold.
Discover the feeling of relief at your fingertips with Opzelura, a cream that helps calm itch and clear skin. Ask your dermatologist about Opzelura today.
It's spring break at Bob's, and I'm introducing my biggest, bestest backyard collection ever. Soak up the sun in outdoor furniture that comes with comfort, quality, and of course, my everyday low prices. You deserve a break. Spring break at Bob's.
I got hurt in a car accident, but I don't have time to deal with a lawyer.
Yes, you do. It's easier than you think to hire the Law Brothers.
We can evaluate your case in as little as 5 minutes.
And that free 5-minute call could mean the difference of thousands of dollars for you.
The initial call to the Law Brothers was just 5 minutes, and they settled my case for $600,000.
Call us. We're the Law Brothers.
Call 559-900-0000 or visit lawbrothers.com.
Join Sequoia Symphony Orchestra's Festival of American Icons, showcasing the music of Copland, Gershwin, Higdon, and Bernstein. Enjoy April's world-class performances by Sequoia Symphony Orchestra at the Visalia Fox Theater.
The lawyers at BD&J are used to dealing with some pretty big numbers.
The emotional and financial stress from my skateboarding accident made it tough for my family. But BD&J got us a $29 million settlement.
Call BD&J at 1-800-820-1111 today.
People are buzzing about my highly rated bedrooms, like my Tremont Queen bedroom set, my romantic Scarlet collection. Go glam with Diva 2. See what all the buzz is about at Bob's Discount Furniture.
Well, we're back, and we've been talking about how to manage life and emotion when you survive a tragic event when others don't. Because we got to be careful that we don't get into a negative internal dialogue. Because we can get lazy in our thinking, and we start, saying things that set us up for failure. And it's really not as cumbersome as it seems to start thinking rationally. Sometimes you have to maybe journal and write down what I'm saying to myself. You would be astounded what you say to yourself. You would think, I wouldn't say all of this to my worst enemy. I wouldn't really, but I'm saying this to myself, so just don't want to do that. I really want to thank all of my guests today for sharing their stories. It would be so much easier for them to sit home and kind of deal with this privately and suffer in silence. It takes a lot of courage to come here and talk about this and share it with people that need to hear it. If you would like more information about today's episode, log on to drphil.com. Before we go, we want to express our condolences to all 79 victims who lost their lives in these terrible and senseless tragedies. Our hearts and prayers go out to all families and friends who have lost a loved one. We will see you next time.
The Bulldog Insider, presented by Fashion Furniture, Sunday nights.
It's time to end things. You're unreliable, and I can't keep fixing you. I want something better and more efficient. It's time for me to move on.